From a biblical perspective, it's kind of hard to deny that God has a body of some sort. Obviously, it's a spiritual body, but there are a lot of verses that pretty clearly show that he can do things that God shouldn't be able to do if he doesn't have some kind of form or some kind of body, or at least the ability to take on a form or a body of the spiritual kind. For example, when it says in Genesis that God walked in the garden, there's nothing in that passage to suggest that this was not actually happening. For all intents and purposes, this is literally God, or at least one member of the Trinity, walking in the garden. Possibly the second person of the Trinity, who is the Word or the messenger of Yahweh. But then also there are other passages that are fairly clearly anthropomorphic, saying something like, I will stretch out my hand and strike so and so. Okay, this might be him literally stretching out his hand, but it probably better fits the idea of a authority thing. So he will use his authority to do this thing. But like I said, not all passages can fit into this idea. We have to have both this idea that there can be words used of him that sound like human things, but they probably are pointing more towards authority or something like that. Whereas there are other times where we kind of can't deny that there seems to be an actual body of some sort. This idea works across both Old and New Testaments that God has some sort of form, obviously a spiritual and not a physical form. Although the Son, the second person of the Trinity, has a physical form, a physical body now, and it seems like he's going to have that forever. Overall, it's hard from a biblical perspective to deny that God has some sort of form, some sort of body, but we also have to be careful because it can be both true that he has some form, some sort of body, and a lot of the language about him is anthropomorphic. I think it's better to take them individually. When we see one, we ask, okay, does this seem to be literally happening, or does it seem to be anthropomorphic or analogical, however you want to say that? I think that there are clear instances of both.